Incredible flavours, even better stories. One pour, 10 minutes. Aussie bourbon lovers sharing bourbon with Australia.
Ah, pretty good. Pretty good. What do we have pouring today, H?
We're drinking a Casey Jones cinnamon cut whiskey today.
Excellent. This is another one of our souvenirs, so to speak, from the Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
And it's quite a unique flavour to this one. This is why we got this one, because it definitely stood out for its unique flavour. So cheers.
And you can smell it from here. Cheers.
I know. You don't even need to put it to your nose. And
But when you do, it's pretty fun. It's
amazing.
on the nose. Like we don't even need to try here.
No.
On the nose, this is just Cinnabon.
Cinnabon
scrolls.
Anything with cinnamon in it. If you like cinnamon, this is like cinnamon in a glass.
And I really like it. It's, I don't like Fireball at all. I think it's gross, and most people do. I think that's why they shoot it. But this is a really lovely cinnamon whiskey. It's really...
But it's definitely unique. It's not... It doesn't have any subtle flavours. It is definitely bang. You're drinking cinnamon.
Drinking cinnamon.
And smelling cinnamon. Oh, it's beautiful.
So can I start with the story of this particular whiskey? Because they... And it's got this most incredible label. That kind of bronze plating on the label. So beautiful. Wow.
Just throwing away
the cork away.
Lid. It's like really thick and...
Yeah. Super cool.
It's a whole
they started making this cinnamon cut whiskey when they paired up with a firehouse, like a local firehouse.
Oh, is that why
celebrating
it's got a fire truck on it?
Yeah. Celebrating 125 years. Hang on. Wait, I've got it here. Which firehouse it was. But basically they were celebrating something and they said, hey, can we do a whiskey together?
Yeah.
The Hopkinsville Fire Department. And so they were like, yeah, let's do this together. And it's it's really cool. I mean, I didn't know that story until very recently, but the whole story of Casey Jones is bloody amazing because
it's a great one.
He was not a moonshiner, he was a maker of stills in Prohibition.
Yeah.
And when Al Capone was asked where the best moonshine he had came from, he said Golden Pond, and Golden Pond is the one that Casey Jones was
and he made them all out of copper. He liked it. He was quality craftsman.
Yes. And what made Casey Jones's stills different to a normal still?
Well, normally a still is like round or like, his were rectangular or square, so that they could fit in getaway vehicles really easily.
Exactly. Pop it in your car and drive away.
Yeah.
And they also had handles on them so you could pick them up and move them.
Yeah.
Because moonshining obviously is its own thing.
Yeah. But like obviously for the, people who were in the Prohibition days trying to get away easily or hide it, that was a great way of doing it. So very clever.
Amazing.
And very unique.
AJ, who's I think grandfather or great-grandson, or great-grandson.
I think he is.
Yeah.
He has his...
Casey is the one who's now bringing the Casey Jones brand back and doing cool stuff, and I'm pretty sure it was him who we met at Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
But he has he's the last still that his grandfather made is the one he's currently using.
And you can see it. It's when you go and visit, you can see it in there. We haven't done that yet, but you can see it on the website. It looks like a still that's the wrong shape. It's
a picture
amazing.
on the label.
It looks like it's got sharp edges. I've never seen a still anything like
it.
It's
so unique. You're not used to seeing corners on a still.
But to know that they made it so that they could obviously get the biggest capacity possible in like a truck bed or a back of a wagon.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yep.
And then make it getaway when someone was coming.
Yeah.
Which I suppose is what you need to be able to do.
Like all good bourbons, need a good story, and this is a great one.
I hope they weren't trying to get away in the middle of distilling. Maybe they would have been. That would have been
you want
real
to take
dangerous.
everything with you, because otherwise you would have had to
take it with you, of course, but I suppose it just depends on when
it wasn't a scheduled thing. Get sprung during Prohibition.
All right, I'm going to do a quick quiz because this is one of these fun things that you know plenty about. All about things of bourbon. So there's 2 rules that this breaks so that they can't call it bourbon. Can you have a look at the bottle and work out what the 2 rules are that it's breaking?
2 rules, okay.
The first...
Well, it says natural flavours in there.
Okay, great. So what rule is that breaking?
Well, it has to be all, like, everything goes in the barrel, corn, et cetera, et cetera. You can't add anything in afterwards. So this has obviously had something added in.
You got the points there for the first one. That's the first one.
Okay, I'm nervous
now. What's the second one? And this one's maybe a little bit more technical. But you should get there, I reckon.
Oh, is it something to do with the proof?
It is something to do with the proof.
62.5 proof. Or do
You
I
can
have
do
to?
it. No. You can do it. That was it. You had it. You were almost there.
The proof that it goes into the barrel.
Into the bottle.
Oh, sorry, into the bottle, not the barrel.
Yep.
So the proof that it goes into the bottle has to be.
Well, you probably don't need to do that, but that is the other one. It has to be 80 proof or higher to be considered bourbon. But this was never going to be bourbon anyway.
Because it had already broken the first rule. It had natural flavours.
They were always going to do that. Yep.
Added, and that's what they say it's a cinnamon cut whiskey.
Yeah.
So they've added that natural cinnamon flavour.
Yep.
And they've called it a whiskey.
And they do it with natural cinnamon, with real vanilla and clove. And so what you get is that heat, but it's lovely and real. And the other thing that they say about this is that this cinnamon cut actually starts with bourbon. It's not a neutral spirit. So a lot of you can start with just a neutral grain spirit and then add a whole truckload of flavour to it and say,
so they started with a bourbon.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
So it was a bourbon before they started messing with it, but they knew they broke the rules, and so they said, all right,
they called it a whiskey.
Cinnamon cut whiskey.
But they've deliberately broken the rules to make it taste delicious. But I love that they've started with a bourbon.
I want to ask you a strange question because I think...
Oh, I'm nervous now.
We often talk about, Aussies getting into whiskies and that kind of stuff, and Fireball often gets bunched into it with, bourbon, and so does things like Southern Comfort and things like that, which they're not bourbons.
Yeah.
They don't quite...
But lots of premixes and...
Right. And there's nothing wrong with them. They're great, but they just don't fit the bill. Don't get the qualification.
Don't meet all the rules.
Yeah, exactly. So do you reckon something like this is a good gateway for someone who wants to try more bourbon, or is someone who's trying to work out a bit more about whether or not this is for them?
You'd want the person to like cinnamon. If Cinnabons are your favourite thing, definitely a gateway. We poured it one night for a couple of friends and some of them absolutely loved it, and one of them sat there and just didn't drink it, and I was like, oh. And he's like, I cannot stand cinnamon.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, well, I would never pour you this if you do not like cinnamon.
How do we must have not have known.
No, we were just trying different ones. And he put his nose near it and just went, no, because it smells beautifully like cinnamon. So if you're not a cinnamon fan, don't try this one. But I definitely, for someone who is a cinnamon lover or someone who doesn't drink much bourbon or whiskey and wants to try, if you like Cinnabons, start with this one.
It's so good. And like for me, different to Fireball and different to other cinnamon whiskeys I've had, this is really like, for me, it's almost got a doughiness to it in a way that
the flavour is really smooth and subtle, but the nose is really strong. So it kind of evens it out and balances it, I think.
Sometimes we talk about notes, what you get in a whiskey, right? Sometimes you go, I'm getting a note of, I don't know,
peaches or cherries or vanilla
right, these kinds
maple
of things.
syrup.
And when you're getting them, I feel like I'm really digging around to try to get something.
Well, they're subtle,
and it's mixed with other flavours, right?
Yeah.
When you nose this, there isn't any confusing what you're getting.
No, you're getting cinnamon, and you're walking past the bakery and smelling Cinnabons.
Do you think there's anything wrong with people who love bourbon and liking this?
No. Or some people might say, but no. I think it has the fact that it started this bourbon, that's a good thing.
Yeah. I don't think you can get it in Australia. I think this is one you have to head over to the US and grab a bottle over there, probably in Kentucky only, actually. Or maybe it's got a bit slightly better, broader distribution that. But definitely, if you're interested in trying some moonshine and some of the cool things that this history of Casey Jones and what AJ and the family are doing, you got to check it out. And, I mean, we've got to go and I want to see that square still.
It's another thing on our to-do list. We definitely need to go there.
Because they're certainly one of the most interesting, not most interesting, that's maybe a bit rough, but very interesting distillery to visit at Kentucky Bourbon Festival because they've got that moonshining history and they've got some amazing stories about the family and what Casey did and all that stuff. And it's one of my favourite things to pass my glass over and say, tell us about your distillery. And that's probably the 300th time they've told it for the day or the weekend or whatever, but they still tell it with so much passion and they love these stories.
It's their story.
Yeah.
And who doesn't love a good bourbon story?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, here's to a delightful pour of something that's not bourbon but pretty close.
Pretty close. And just
very cinnamony.
Drinking and eating Cinnabons all in one go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you're connected with us on TikTok, Instagram and YouTube, and stay connected with us by clicking subscribe on your favourite podcast app.